Para las personas que necesiten asistencia en interpretación, favor de desplazarse a la pantalla donde están los puntos, los elipsis, los puntos consecutivos, seleccionar interpretación y después seleccionar el idioma en español. Para no escuchar el audio en inglés en el fondo, favor de silenciar su micrófono. For the people who need interpreting in Spanish, please go to the screen on the lower right-hand corner. You can select the globe or the ellipsis, the 3 consecutive dots, and select your language. You can select the Spanish language. If you do not want to hear the English below in the background, please turn off your microphone. Thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to view closed captions of this meeting, please view the meeting on SMUHSD Board Meeting YouTube channel. The link to the YouTube channel can be found on our website. You may view the captions in English as we live stream our meeting tonight, and you may view the captions in a variety of other languages if you choose to watch after this meeting has ended. Viewers may request additional accommodations by calling 650-558-2201. For our deaf and hard of hearing community, we have a team from Hannah Interpreting Services, and they will be interpreting our meeting this evening. We would like to ask everyone to speak at a clear and reasonable pace for our interpreters. Thank you. Okay, item H, the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like our student board members to lead us, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, report of actions taken in closed session. In closed session, upon the motion of Trustee Chavez and seconded by Trustee Jacobson, the board approves stipulated expulsion case 24-25-9 with a vote of 5-0. Item J, the Board of Trustees may either adopt the agenda as presented or make a change to the agenda excuse me, through a motion, second, and majority vote. The Brown Act prohibits any additions to the agenda without a 72-hour public notice for regularly scheduled board meetings. Are there any questions or comments from the Board of Trustees or Superintendent with respect to the agenda?
I have a question. Would it be possible to move all of the recognitions up a little bit? So we don't have to sit here and wait.
Yeah, Trustee Jacobson had actually asked
Oh.
that, well, no, she had made that comment. And I said, well, we're going to get through this as fast as we can, but I can't control the rest of the world. So I think that would be an appropriate adjustment. Does everybody follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There
Before
a
the
motion?
regular reports.
Yeah, you need a motion.
I'll make a motion to,
Oh, sure. I move to bring the recognition items up to the top of the agenda.
second.
Okay, any discussion or comments?
There's none.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
They're getting it.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, we're gonna go to recognitions. I'd like to welcome everybody. I realize this is a school night and everybody wants to be home slaving away over at homework. Either that or watching NC2A basketball or something. But I appreciate the fact that you made time to come out here and be recognized. So
thank you. So this evening, it's really exciting. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is what we're here for, is for students. So it's always fantastic to have students in the audience. It really energizes us and helps our meetings. We have a number. We're going to be honoring and recognizing the Hillsdale High School mock trial team, the Hillsdale boys soccer CCS champions, the Mills girls basketball CCS champions, Burlingame CCS wrestling champions. So let's start with our Hillsdale High mock trial team. our coach, Matt Springman. I think Matt's here somewhere, hopefully. Come on up. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us. When someone asked me 10 years ago, do you think you'll be coaching mock trial 365 days a year? I would have said, what's mock trial? But it has become such a part of the thing that I love and do. And it's because it's so hard, and the kids are consistently up for the challenge. They are the most hardworking, the most kind, the most resilient and gutsy kids that I could ask for. And it's a pleasure to coach them every day. And a few of them are back there.
Can you raise your hand so we know who you are back there? Real high. Come on, so we can really see you. There you go. Yeah.
We beat the Menlo School this year for the first time in a while. And
Nice.
when you get out of San Mateo County, you can win the state championship because it's so competitive. 5 or 6, 7 teams from San Mateo could get there and do really well in states. So once you get out of the county, you can do really well. And we've been telling them that for a long time. And they did things all weekend that I didn't know that they were capable of. I knew they were really, really, really good, like elite. But they really dominated over 5 trials, and I was just in awe all weekend. It was fantastic.
All right, Matt, before you walk away here, let me just read a little bit about this team. The weekend of March 15th and 16th, the Hillsdale High mock trial team competed as one of 34 teams in the state finals in Los Angeles, about 450 teams in California total. And after 4 rounds of intense competition, they advanced to the championship round to compete for the top spot against Trinity Pacific Christian School from Ventura County, the reigning state champs. After a very close final round with fantastic performance by both teams, Hillsdale High School finished in 2nd place. I mean, it's really amazing. Yeah, fantastic. And to the students back there, really great job. So proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you. And that final trial on a percentage basis was 49.9 to 50.1.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and they deserve so much credit. It's an honor to coach them. There is one thing that I would like to make the board aware of, if you're not aware of it already, but my understanding is that there's a district policy that if a athletic team makes a state championship, that the district will pay for lodging and transportation and food, but not for a non-athletic team. So when we asked for money, the district, did what I think they could under the policy, but we also had to shell out $15,000 of the mock trial money to do that. And I think that's unfair. So I would ask the board to revisit that policy, because I think it treats a class of students fundamentally differently than another class. And the board should pay for athletic teams to go to states. That's the right thing to do. But I think if it's going to be equal, they have to pay for all teams that go to those state championships. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to continue with Hillsdale. This is the boys soccer CCS champions, Coach Jaime Gomez. Yeah, the students can stand up there with you if you want.
Bring my team here.
Yeah,
been
go.
a team all year long. So, I'm Coach Jaime Gomez. This is an honor to be here with the boys here, our soccer team, and it was really a great season for us. We made history, Hillsdale history, and when we talk about our season, with our team, it was about that. It was about making history and putting Hillsdale soccer on the grid. And I can talk for a lot, but I would like for you to hear from our team captain, Saneth, and he can let you know a little bit more about our team. So I
Great.
think it's good to hear from the kids.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Seth Andravadu. This is actually my first year playing Hillsdale High School soccer since I was unable to play academy. But it's probably one of the best decisions I've made for the past 4 years of being in high school. I mean, there's a lot to say just off the achievements like this team has. Not losing, first of all, in league is a big achievement. I think winning league for since like 2022 is a big deal. And obviously winning the the CCS championship for the first time ever for Hillsdale is another big achievement. But that's not just why this team is so special. For me, it's because of like how much we're a family. I think most people, when they talk about sports, they're like, oh, this team has been together for so long. That's why they have the chemistry they have. But I mean, me and the boys have been together for 3 months, and you wouldn't be able to notice that on the field. We click like nothing like ever happened. It's been like years of playing together. I think that's just because of the bond that we create off the field, and that's something I'll definitely keep for the most of my life. I think it's like one of the things I missed out on soccer was being able to call a team a real family, and playing with these kids behind me, and it was a special moment for me. And I told them before every single game in CCS that our family is going to beat the other team, and it's because our family is stronger than the other ones. So I think that's just something that like stuck with me forever. And like obviously the moments off the field also, they were also special, but the hard work that we all put in was the reason why we got so far. And I think that's just what this team's all about. It's just hard work and dedication to the program. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool.
Just to add on a little bit more about one of our reasons for playing this season is earlier this year, we had a student at Hillsdale who passed away, who was also a former soccer player and was part of the program. And that was one of the reasons for us being together a little bit more too as well. So rest in peace, Quinn White, but I do want to mention it.
Thank you. Yeah. I just want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
How many of you are seniors?
Wow.
All right. Well,
Hi.
juniors, sophomores, go a lot to do next year. Good luck.
Hopefully we're back.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
I
Thank
will
you.
see the
Thanks, guys.
seniors at graduation.
Yeah. All right, next up, we've got our Mills girls basketball CCS champions, our head coach, Justin Nutzer.
First of all, thank you guys for having us back. We were here 2 years ago, and it's an honor just to be back here in front of you guys. A special group up here behind me. One of the hardest seasons that we've had, just from a talent wise of who we played, and these girls stuck with it. You can see on our shirt, it says Ohana. I'm sure some of them are wearing it too, but this season cannot be possible without the dedication and the work that these kids have put in, the love they play with one another, and then just the support that they have at home, all the families in the back that are here supporting us and have supported us throughout this year. We live and breathe Ohana, which is the Hawaiian word for family, each and every day. And it's just a special group. For this senior class, it'll probably go down as one of the best senior class to be at Mills High School history. 4 straight CCS championship appearances, 2 in 3 years, and it was a great game. Our girls battled all night. We got our payback from Notre Dame San Jose, who we lost to the year before. Down 9 in the fourth, and these girls just never wavered and continued to stick with it and believe in each other and hit big shots down the stretch. And it ultimately ended up with us hanging a banner this year, which is always our ultimate goal. But I just can't thank these kids enough, especially the senior group. They're especially going to be missed. And yeah, thank you guys again. Thank you to all the parents, and we really appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Congratulations, really. How many are seniors again? Raise your hand if you're a senior.
7 of them.
Woo, it's a lot of seniors. Okay,
7
keep
of
it
them.
going.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And we have a Burlingame High School CCS wrestling champ. This is Lauren Aguilar. Where's Lauren here? And coach, it's coach here. Come on down. Yeah, congratulations.
I'm Ernesto Nunez, head wrestling coach at Burlingame High School and of Mills High School. I do got to say, basketball coach that just walked out, class act, man, we had to share that gym with them for 2 years. And he's like that all the time, very friendly, very accommodating, and yeah, nice guy. But anyways, on to the season. It was challenging 2 years, driving from BHS to Mills and waiting for one basketball team to end or a volleyball team to end, to roll out mats, sweep, mop, and then undo that, and then let the other team that was practicing after us. Challenging 2 seasons, but in the end, it was all worth it, right? To get to this point and to watch Allie come home with the state medal. It was the first in BHS history, boy or girl. Another special thing about this year, what she did this year was it was the only medal the PAL had, and in San Mateo County. So yes, what a way to go out. She is a senior.
Okay.
If you guys saw her in action every day at practice, her leadership, she was a team captain since she was a sophomore. But her leadership, her voice, her presence in the mat room, is second to none.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying not to. I had our banquet and today, but Allie, you're gonna be missed. Right? Thank you for the memories. But one of our mottos at the school with the team was it takes a village, right? We had the 2 teams and all the parent support. But before before you speak, I do want you guys to know we brought a part of that village. Some of our coaching staff, and then her club coaches are here. Everyone that took part and helped her along this path. But
Wow.
yeah, not an easy road. Wrestling's not an easy sport.
No.
But she did it. All right, and it's all hers.
Yeah.
I'm really done.
There you go.
All right, I really appreciate you guys having me here. Like Coach said, it really does take a village, and I do have my village here. Right here, I have 2 girls that I actually coach, and it really has been a crazy journey transferring my sophomore year to Burlingame High School, originally starting at Cappuccino High School. I think it's been a great honor to represent this school, and like Coach said, first state medalist, first CCS champion, and I have a lot of continuous support, not only from my team, but from the families and staff at Burlingame High School, and continuous in the league from any other school. I feel very thankful to have the village that I do and the family that I do behind my back, regardless if they're blood or not. I'm, forever grateful, and it's been a great opportunity to represent Burlingame High School. Thank you all.
Thank you. Awesome. Really proud of you. It's all yours. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I can go home now.
Well, I guess our work here is done. We can
That's what I was thinking.
move on. Okay, we're gonna move on to section K, report of superintendent.
Thank you very much. A few items to update the board and the community on. If we could put the little slide up for me. Watch high school baseball at Oracle Park. April 12th, I want to invite everyone to experience the excitement of varsity baseball as the Burlingame High School Panthers take on the Cappuccino High School Mustangs on Saturday, April 12th, 6 p.m. at Oracle Park, the home of the San Francisco Giants. Both schools have to sell at least 1,000 tickets, and if they do, the Giants might consider the school district schools to be part of such events in the future. It's a great opportunity for our students, given that public schools don't usually get an opportunity to play at that major league park. You can see our website up on the board here, or the Burlingame or Cappuccino websites to purchase tickets. I want to note that you'll be prompted to buy a ticket to one of 3 Major League Baseball games, which also gives you free admission to our high school game. Tickets start at $29 with no additional fees, and our teams are really looking forward to this exciting opportunity. Next up, we have Trades Day. On March 13th, 200 students, career coordinators, and teachers from Aragon, Burlingame, Cappuccino, Hillsdale, Mills, Peninsula, and San Mateo High Schools attended the Trades Day event held at the San Francisco airport. Participants engaged in hands-on activities and gained invaluable career insights. Students walked away with knowledge about various trades, including SFO sign making, sheet metal work, landscaping, automotive, engineering, electrical work, welding, and more. This event is an important reminder of how school districts can partner with local employers and organizations to offer valuable experiences and open doors for high school students. Lastly, we're entering into spring break next week. Our educators and I'm sure our students are looking forward to spring recess, which begins on Monday, March 31st. Many of our educators will be away from work, and some of our 12-month employees will continue to work at their school or office. And I want to thank each of you, especially our 12-month employees, for your hard work and many successes day in and day out to keep our 10 schools and all of our programs and services running smoothly. We owe you a huge debt of gratitude. And if you get a chance to have a break, please take that opportunity to hit the reset button. We have just, 8 weeks of school left, something like that, I think. And a lot of work still to do in support of our seniors, helping all of our seniors graduate, walk across the stage. Remembering our kind of district motto of all students graduate, all students thrive. And we're going to continue to work toward that in these next 8 weeks. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Report of the District Teachers Association representative.
They won't have a report this evening.
Okay. Report of CSEA Chapter 519 representative.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations again to those sports teams. That's very amazing that we have so many sports teams that are doing so well. And the lady wrestler, my son wrestles at Cappuccino. She's legit. She's really, really good. So I want to say good evening to the board and the cabinet, all the people in attendance and all those watching on the internets. My name is Dale Brewer. I'm the CSEA 519 president. And I am so happy to be here tonight to speak to you about our essential group, CSEA. First, I want to acknowledge the great work of our CSEA Technology Support Specialist 2 at Aragon High School, Fatima Hajatnia, pardon me, but we all know her as Malak. Malak will be retiring in July with 21 years and 5 months of service to the school district. To Malak, my dear friend, you have been a great person to work with through the 20 years of service that I've been here, and your knowledge and your genuine care for what you do at the district will be missed. CSEA thanks you for all that your work and wishes you a retirement of love and joy with your wonderful family. 21 years is a long time. The over 500 CSEA employees here at the district are gearing up for spring recess, as Superintendent had mentioned, while the teachers and the students and administrators prepare for the week of re-energizing. CSEA will be going full force, completing projects on all campuses and sites in areas we can't easily access while classes are in session. A reminder, CSEA never stops. And again, Superintendent Booker, thank you for mentioning that with not just CSEA, but all the 12-month employees. Thank you. April begins negotiation season, and CSEA looks forward to working with the district to reach a mutually beneficial outcome. We currently are working closely with the district to agree upon a new position in technology. We're working for work from home hours and as well a summer work schedule for 2025. And later tonight, I will present our initial proposal for the 2025 to 2028 successor negotiations. It may be a bit early, but I do want to let you know that California School Employees Week is coming up in May. It's never too early to celebrate our school district first responders. So CSEA is here to help you, your students, and your properties stay safe, clean, and open for learning. That's all for now. Good evening, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Report of the San Mateo Adult School Teachers Association. Welcome.
Lynette, you need to unmute.
And here I was just talking to myself. Thank you so much, Randall, for letting me know that. I want to say those teams were outstanding.
Yeah.
I wish I had actually signed in earlier because it was amazing just to see them working. It was so cool. Thank you for that. And wrestling and girls, yay, that is awesome. Okay, so I digress. Lynette Garcia, CE and Workforce Development, and the Union VP of the San Mateo Adult School Federation of Teachers. Thank you, Board President Griffin, VP Terry Chavez, board members, and Superintendent Booker for the opportunity. We, the CFT Union and staff of San Mateo Adult and Career Education Campus, are here to share our updates with our campus. Recent and upcoming events. On Thursday, Olena Babich, our evening ESL specialist, had the privilege of attending Kevin Mullen's address at City Hall. His speech was truly inspirational, highlighting his strong commitment to education, democracy, and immigrant rights. His passionate concern for safeguarding our democratic principles resonated deeply. While she regretted not having the opportunity to address the town hall meeting directly regarding adult education, she did have a valuable interaction with both Kevin Mullen and his constituent service director, Ragda Karaja. She had a warm conversation to present them with our school's new folders and mug. It was heartening to know that they both recognized her for her time as a student and demonstrated a genuine interest in adult education. Marina Katslova, ESL Success Coordinator, and Stephanie Wright, Administrative Assistant, will be representing SMUHSD at the COAB conference in Dallas, focusing on student engagement and leadership. Adding to our student voice, Student Council Officer Eva Anani will also attend COAB to participate in the Students as Leaders Summit. This is from March 31st to April 2nd. During the presentation, Ava will join Marina and Stephanie to share perspectives on the importance of extracurricular activities for immigrant students. Their presentation will offer a comparative view of growing up in the US versus immigrating here. I almost wish I was going because I saw the presentation and it's fantastic. On April 8th, a fantastic team from SMUHSD will be attending the Capitol for Ledge Day, to include our director, Angela Taylor, our staff members, Marina Katslova and myself, and some of our dedicated student council members will be meeting with the local representatives to champion adult education, across the state. I believe we're going to have about 9 participants, including, I think, 7 students. We've already locked in 1 meeting with a representative and are eagerly awaiting for a confirmation for a second one. Like, how cool is that? This is a powerful chance for our students and staff to get involved and see firsthand how things work at the state level. For decades, SMUHSD has shown its unwavering support for adult education by consistently participating in this event. It's all about making our voices heard and building a brighter future together. To follow up from our last report, we had a very productive meeting with Mr. Yancey Hawkins regarding the upcoming construction projects, including the addition of 2 temporary portables for the Bridge Academy program on the SMUHSD campus. We appreciate being included in the updates and planning that affects the campus, and look forward to continued communications and involvement, particularly with parking, and being able to offer suggestions for the best outcomes for both schools. And our final thoughts this evening regarding the shifting landscape of education in our country. A recent executive order by the current president significantly reduced the U.S. Department of Education scope and operations, drawing strong opposition from the California Federation of Teachers, CFT. The order directs Secretary of Education to downsize the department, potentially cutting programs or transferring them to other federal agencies. California's educational system heavily relies on federal funding, supporting over 6.7 million students. The CFT warns that these cuts could disproportionately harm vulnerable students, including those with disabilities and low-income families. CFT and the American Federation of Teachers argue that the move is unconstitutional as only Congress technically has the authority to establish and fund federal agencies. CFT President Jeff Freitas condemned the order as reckless and illegal attempt that threatens the future of American students. He emphasized the power of union solidarity in fighting harmful policies, highlighting the strength of collective action. San Mateo Adult and Career Education remains committed to providing a supportive environment where students can learn and thrive despite these challenges. We understand the importance of fostering an inclusive and supportive environment, particularly for those facing uncertainty due to the shifting educational landscape. The original article was written by the CFT Jeff Freitas, president, and it was paraphrased by myself. With solidarity and grace, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the report of the student board representatives. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Libby, and I'm one of the student board representatives, and I'm a junior at Burlingame High School.
My name's Athena, and I am also from Burlingame High School.
And so because we're both from Burlingame, we thought we'd give you some updates. Superintendent Booker touched on this earlier, but our baseball team will be playing at Oracle Park versus Cappuccino on April 12th at 6 p.m. So I don't think it's every day that high school baseball teams get to play at Oracle Park. So it's definitely something to look out for. Next thing is our play and Something Rotten just ended. They had shows over the past 2 weekends, and I've heard it was a very successful turnout. And then also the next thing is coming off of all of those celebrations we just had. Another one to add is our robotics team just qualified for the World Championships, which is really, really exciting. It's been a couple years since the last one, and they're really excited to go to, I believe, Texas in a couple weeks. Yeah. And then our class cabinet elections just ended. And then one from today is our prom theme just got announced today, and it's Tangled. Yes. Very interesting theme, but a good one.
Yeah, really?
No, it's a good one.
There's an honest answer.
No, it's a good one. I'm excited for it. But those are our school updates, and we're gonna move on to some student board updates. On our last student board meeting on Wednesday, March 26th, Brian Simmons hosted a mini focus group centered on artificial intelligence use within our district. We spoke about our concerns about AI, how we use it, and how policies can aid both students and educators in their educational goals. A highlight we discussed was what extent AI can be used responsibly in our classrooms. For example, if using grammar fixing features can be considered plagiarism, or where the line is, basically on that. The members of the Student Board Council met on March 18th, 2025 to discuss Trustee Jacobson's recommended addition to the National Women's History Month proclamation. 8 students met and reviewed the proclamation, and the group decided to edit the recommended addition. The group was unanimous in their decision on what content to add to the proclamation. And thank you guys for listening to our report.
Thank you. Okay, governing board comments. Boy. Trustee Chavez.
A few things to say. Thank you. Thank you for the board. Sorry. Thank you for our student board reps. I just also want to say that I'm equally as pleased with the recognition that we had today for the Hillsdale mock trial team and the Hillsdale High School boys soccer team and the Mills High School girls basketball team and the Burlingame High School wrestling champion. And also, just like you had said, Libby, you just mentioned the robotics. So that's really exciting as well. We have a lot of student participation with sports as well as non-sports teams. And I think it's really amazing. It's awesome to hear about that. just like Trustee Land said earlier, hey, we're done with our meeting. We had so much encouraging news from the students. I'll just share a couple of things. I know a lot of us attended open houses recently. I attended the Mills open house, and staff and students were just amazing. When I first arrived, I walked into several different corridors, and I was greeted by I saw student ambassadors, student leaders there to help parents find the right classrooms, the right corridors, and just seeing our students volunteer out there is truly amazing. Then I found myself in the theater, the auditorium. And so Principal Pam Dazinski and Assistant Principal Jonathan White, they were giving an overview of Mills High School to the rising ninth graders. So next year, all those students and parents that were there, those ninth graders, those students are currently eighth graders, and so they'll be attending Mills next year as ninth graders. And I thought that Principal Dazinski and Assistant Principal White did an amazing job welcoming the families and inviting them to stay for the evening to walk around the classrooms and for the open house so they can get accustomed and see all the amazing things going on on the campus there. I also attended the musical Mamma Mia at Mills, and all the students singing and performing. I still don't understand how a student can have all those lines memorized for 2 or 3 hours and sing, right? They were all amazing, and I wish the staff was here right now, some of the students, but it was truly amazing. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the band played live music throughout the course of the entire musical. And I just was in awe at that when I realized that this was live music and that I felt like I was at a Broadway play. I mean, the students were so mature and so talented. And I want to attend some other performances too at our other school sites. I mean, the entire performance was with live music. It was so awesome. My last thing I wanted to mention was I recently attended San Mateo County School Board Association. So all of the school districts in San Mateo County, 23 or 24, all the trustees were invited to this legislative brunch. And so it's our annual legislative brunch. And it's great because we have a couple of senators and a couple of assembly members that were there as well. Getting together to talk collectively about what we can do to help our school districts is amazing, and it's great to collaborate. So I know that I'll let the other trustees speak to that as well. Trustees Jacobson and Andrade Zuniga attended that as well. But it was a great time, and it's really important to collaborate and talk to our legislative leaders when we need more funding or when we're concerned about the funding that we currently have or any concerns we have. We try to lobby that too at this once a year annual event. But I'll let the other trustees share. That's it for right now. Thank you for letting me share.
Trustee Jacobson.
Well, first I want to thank the student board members for taking my recommendations about the Women's History Month proclamation and for dialoguing about that and making your recommended changes. I really appreciate and I thought it was very insightful what you came up with. So thank you. I went to Hillsdale High School open house, had a great evening. There were students there with tables letting us know about the Hillsdale Peace Pantry and other, opportunities for getting involved in the community. And I just really enjoyed the opportunity to meet with my daughter's teachers one-on-one and learn about what is happening in their classrooms. And lastly, yes, I did attend the legislative brunch with Trustee Chavez and Trustee Andrade Zuniga. And it was very enlightening to hear what the legislators are working on and what they have done and are continuing to do with regards to education. I thought some of the commentary was rather partisan for being a nonpartisan meeting, but anyway, I'm glad I went. So that's all.
Trustee Land.
I did love the first part of this meeting, and it was I love I'm just so proud of our district on a regular basis to see the amazing achievements that these students do, whether it's mock trial or wrestling or, it's just fascinating. I love it. And I really am proud that our school district really creates these great situations, these great opportunities for our students at so many different levels. I also want to thank our student board members for being here. I think it's been such an add, the way things have changed over time. I've been here for a while, and this is just the best quality of board representation for students is in a very long time. So thank you both, and thank you for the whole organization that you guys represent. Open house. I want to put kudos to Dr. Fung at BHS. She invited our 8th graders to come and visit as well. And I just want to say thank you to that, because that was a very insightful opening up of the school so that my 8th graders from BIS can check out the high school and what it's going to be like. And I think that kind of cross-pollination is something I really love and was grateful to see at BHS. So this is my first year. I did not go to the breakfast, the legislative breakfast. I missed out this time. I was doing a family obligation, but it's something I've organized in the past, and I love having it happen. And I would like to see it continue, because I think our biggest job is to advocate for education, regardless of what we see their priorities are. My focus always, when I organized it, was to let them know what our focus is, and our priorities are. Because if they don't understand the need, the funding shifts, and what we do for education, it's missed. Because there are no experts in the state. Maybe there are a few. I should take that back, but they don't know what we do on a regular basis. There's only a few school board members who are actually representatives, assemblymen, or state senators, and I think it behooves us to really dedicate and advocate for what we think is important for our school districts. Especially funding and making sure that we're whole and making sure that we keep growing. So, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Andrade Zuniga.
Yes, thank you. I want to start with the land acknowledgement. This was written by some Cappuccino students a few years back. Our community acknowledges that all of our campuses lie on the ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone. The Ramaytush are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula, whose land was stolen from them and whose native language was lost because of Spanish colonization. As settlers on the stolen land of the peninsula, we should be, alongside the Ramaytush, remembering and honoring their ancestors and relatives. We thank the first people, the Ramaytush Ohlone, for taking care of the land we now use for education and activities. Our responsibility of caring for the earth is unique and personal to each of us, but should be rooted in allyship with the Ramaytush Ohlone, so we can work together to protect and preserve the land for future generations. I first want to start saying Ramadan Mubarak to everyone who observes Ramadan right now. I attended an iftar event last week that was organized by Joanna Fate, Samia Shoman, Elsa Pulido, and the rest of the community. It was at Mills. It's really cool to always see how people just practice their just different parts of their culture. But also because the community is so tight knit, it so reminds me of my culture. So it was really nice to be amongst the community and breaking bread with folks, and it was a really nice event. So thank you. I attended open house at Peninsula High School. It was very, very cold and windy. But what's always nice about the open house at Peninsula is that they'll have awards. And some of the students had between a 3.5 and a 4.0. It was awesome. A lot of the students are really involved in hospitality of their school, and welcoming other students who are new, and maybe a little unsure of where they are and what they've gotten themselves into. But overall, the staff there just loves the kids, and you can tell. You can tell by the way that the students progress. So I'm always super proud of going to PHS. Last week, I also met with the CHS, the California High School Interact Club, and we talked about getting involved in the community, volunteer opportunities. We talked about just, I guess, my path to becoming a trustee and what I do for work and things like that. So it was kind of nice to show the students maybe something different in terms of work and just different experiences in running for office. They're excellent kids, and I'm glad that they have such a really amazing club. I also went to see Mamma Mia on Saturday, and now I have like this medley of Mamma Mia songs stuck in my head on repeat for the past week. So it was, yeah, like Trustee Chavez. I'm always blown away by the talent that we have in this district. We have not only the talent, but like the volunteers and the folks that support, and yeah, the orchestra was amazing. I mean, the whole thing was really neat. So thank you to Mills High School for putting on such a great show. Today I went to San Mateo High School. They have like Unity Week or Unity Day, something like that. I didn't catch exactly if it was a day or a week, but they're having different types of cultural dance all week. Yesterday they had Baile Folclórico. Today they had kind of a combination of quebradita and like some banda stuff. So it was kind of neat to see the kids dancing to stuff that I used to dance to. um, but San Mateo was always really fun, and it was nice to see Principal Shu and all the students. I love to see the students in their elements. Lunchtime is when like everybody goes and hangs out with their friends, and just reminds me of like, you know, having a set spot to meet at, and it was just it's neat. It's nice to be amongst the young people. There's a program called Youth Leadership Forum. That's a program for youth with disabilities, and every year it's through the Department of Rehabilitation for the state. And every year they have a conference at Sac State University where they host a group of students with disabilities, and they teach them about disability pride and advocacy and a lot of different very important parts of disability justice. And we have students interviewing from our district. So I think thank you to the special education department um, for informing the students about these opportunities. It's really important. I am the secretary for the San Mateo County School Board Association. So yeah, I did attend the legislative breakfast or brunch. Again, like Trustee Land said, the advocacy piece is super important, and it's really important for us to connect with legislators, for them to see what we do and how we do it and what's important at that time. It's important for them to have us on their radar, and to have that personal connection. So it's always important to have that, you know, person in front of you. That way they see who you are and they know who you are. So that was really, really good. And we are still so Monday the 31st, the deadline to nominate folks for area reps and officers for our association. So if you're part of the San Mateo County School Board Association, we are still taking nominations for officers and area representatives. I have a really heavy heart right now because of the situation in the community with ICE and with just immigration enforcement. All over the county, all over the Bay Area, people have been getting just picked up and basically just disappearing. I remember, I think I've talked about this before, but in 1994, I was in high school and Proposition 187 got passed. A lot of us had to carry our birth certificates and our IDs because people, again, were getting just picked up and we didn't see them. So now there's red cards out there that help folks understand their rights. There are websites where, like for immigrant rights, that are there to serve the community. Faith in Action is around to help out Pangea, La Raza Central Legal, a bunch of different organizations. And so I implore people to get in touch with places that can educate you on what your rights are. There's also Know Your Rights workshops all over the county. It's very, very important. What's happening is very unfair and disgusting. Yesterday was Trans Day of Visibility. The Trevor Project developed a national survey on mental health of LGBTQ youth. More than half of transgender and non-binary young people found their school to be gender affirming, and those who did reported lower rates of suicide attempts. LGBTQ youth who reported living in very accepting communities attempted suicide less than half the rate than those who are in unaccepting communities. So it's really important for us to support our students. It's so important. April 18th at 6:30 p.m. at CSM is the Pride Prom. It's so fun. So if you can attend, please, please do. Lastly, I just want to talk about special education and just keep staying informed and make sure that we advocate. Reach out to your legislators. Reach out to the legislators that are in states that are kind of on the fence with things. That's very important. The youth of this country are very, very important. So thank you to our interpreters, our ESL interpreters and our language interpreters, and thank you to our IT folks. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I just got two quick comments because I'm trying to catch up on the clock here. I did go to an open house and saw Dr. Black there. It was in Aragon, and I really enjoyed it. Most of it, I spent most of the time outside in the cold, although I did walk the hallways. I got fascinated with the music and the art, and I enjoyed talking to the students. So, and the other thing, I had a tour today of the new gym here at San Mateo, and it's really an impressive building. Matter of fact, I don't know what we're going to call the front gym and the back gym because they're both, I mean, they're this building back there is huge, and since it's state of the art, I mean, it's because I was thinking the front gym, whatever we call the main gym, it's got to be 25 years old because it was something when that I was on the committee that negotiated the thing. So I mean, but the other one, it really is. It's going to be a marvelous facility, and I'm looking forward to that dedication along with all the other dedications we have. So anyway, that's my report. Thank you. Public comments. If you are joining us in person and wish to make a comment about an agenda item or during the public comment section at the beginning of the agenda, please fill out a request to address the board form and submit it to the secretary. This form should be given to the secretary before the agenda item begins. If you are joining us virtually, use the raised hand feature on Zoom to be recognized. When invited to do so, your camera must be on before you are called upon to make a public comment. We will call on you to begin your comment once we have promoted you into the meeting. If your camera is not operational, please email your comments to the Board of Trustees at board@smuhsd.org. Please note that comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public comment depending upon the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. I will call on in-person comment requests first. Ms. Aquino, are there any?
There are none.
Thank you. Okay, are there any Zoom comments?
There are none.
Thank you. Okay, communications to the board. Superintendent Booker?
None this evening, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The consent agenda. We are moving on to the consent agenda. Do any of the trustees wish to pull an item from consent for discussion?
President Griffin, I wanted to see if we could offer the student board council reps the opportunity to provide a summary of the proclamations that are listed in the consent agenda prior to the board taking a vote.
Okay, that would be starting with item 12, 13, 14, 16, 15, 16. Okay.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity to tell you guys the summaries. But there are 5 proclamations coming up for your guys' approval, and I'll be reading to you the first one, and Athena will be reading the next 4. The first is a proclamation to recognize March 31st as Cesar Chavez Day. Cesar Chavez Day is a U.S. federal commemorative holiday proclaimed by President Barack Obama in 2014. It is a state holiday in California and is observed in 10 other states. This holiday celebrates the birth and legacy of the civil rights and labor movement activist Cesar Chavez on March 31st of every year, and is observed to promote service to the community in honor of his life and his work. Throughout his life of work and service, Cesar Chavez empowered thousands to stand together for their rights and led our nation toward a more equitable and just society. His visionary leadership inspired a powerful movement that burns brightly to this day, rallying people from all walks of life to champion the dignity of his work.
The second proclamation is to recognize National Arab American Heritage Month. April is National Arab American Heritage Month, officially established via a declaration by President Joe Biden in April 2021. It is a time to formally recognize the achievements of Arab Americans and celebrate the Arab American community's rich heritage and numerous contributions to society. California, to our advantage, is home to a wide cultural spectrum of diverse people. We know that our diversity is our greatest gift. Our state is fortunate to have the largest Arab American population in the country, with more than 715,000 Californians of Arab descent. The third is a proclamation to recognize Autism Awareness Month. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that 1 in 44 Americans in the United States are living with autism, a complex, lifelong developmental disability that typically appears during early childhood and can impact a person's social skills, communication, relationships, and self-regulation. Every April, Autism Awareness Month is celebrated, beginning with United Nations-sanctioned World Autism Awareness Day on April 2nd, to increase understanding and acceptance and to foster worldwide support for those living with autism. The fourth is a proclamation to recognize April 6th to 12th as Adult Education Week. The state of California will observe April 6th through April 12th, 2025 as Adult Education Week, recognizing the unique accomplishments of California adult schools. Both the California State Legislature and our district acknowledges that K-12 based adult schools offer quality programs to meet the ever-changing economic and workforce development and lifelong learning needs of our diverse state. And our final proclamation is to recognize March as National Women's History Month. The members of the Student Board Council met on March 18th, 2025 to discuss Trustee Jacobson's recommendation addition to the National Women's History Month proclamation. 8 students met and reviewed the proclamation. The group decided to edit the recommended addition. The group was unanimous in their decision on what content to add to the proclamation. Our group's addition to the proclamation is as follows. Women's roles as caregivers, whether as mothers, grandmothers, sisters, or aunts, biologically or not, have nurtured generations, helping to provide the foundation for countless advancements in justice, culture, and society. Thank you for the opportunity to present summaries of tonight's proclamations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Any comments on the consent agenda, or is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you. Were there any public comments on any those items?
There were none.
Okay. Special reports and appearances, Superintendent Booker.
Thank you. I'm going to hand this off to Dr. Kemke. This item is a proposal for alternative graduation pathways for specific student groups. Thank you.
All right, good evening. I'm glad to have the opportunity to present with Scott Reardon, who's our Assistant Director for Special Education Services. This is actually a work of collaborating between the different parts of the different departments of instruction that includes special education and multilingual learners. So we're here tonight to talk about two proposed alternative graduation pathways. So each of these pathways, we're going to call them Plan 6 and 7, are to support our multilingual students. So that's proposed Plan 6. And then students with IEPs. And then there's specific criteria in addition to them just being multilingual students or students with IEPs that we'll talk about. The second part of the presentation, Scott's going to update you on the new law that provides access to students with significant disabilities to a high school diploma. These changes were already in our board policy. You approved those last year, but we wanted to give you an update as they're coming into effect shortly. So just as a review, these are the current board-approved graduation plans that we have in board policy. So all of these are in our board policy. Some of them are based on requirements of law. Others are based on local graduation requirements. Plan 1 is where the vast majority of our students are on. So that requires 220 credits, and those graduation requirements are outlined in that board policy. Plan 2 is for students that are in the graduate or in our continuation school. So that's our Peninsula continuation school. Students there are required to have 202 credits. That's mostly for students to be exempted from the PE requirement, and they have 2 credits that are for work experience. Oftentimes students will exceed that requirement because they may come in with PE requirements, but because they're all 11th and 12th graders, that's part of the law. Plan 3 is for our adult school students, and last year you approved a plan for them to have 150 credits. Plan 4 is all based on different laws for particular groups of students, and these are very specific. So they're for our foster youth, formal juvenile hall students, homeless students, newcomer or migrant students entering at the 11th or 12th grade. And those are all, again, outlined in law, and then they're also placed into board policy. Plan 5 is the one that we're going to give you an update on. That's the second part of this presentation, and that's based on a law and also is in our board policy. So I wanted to kind of give you background to what currently we have available to students. And coincidentally, in conversations with both Joanna Feit and then Rochelle Hooks and Scott, both of the teams came to me in the fall and indicated, there's these particular groups of students who we know are real capable. They should be graduating with us, but they're not quite making it because of mostly they feel like the number of credits that are required. And most what you're going to see tonight is that we're not changing any of the core content requirements. We're just decreasing the number of electives. For the most part. So we're going to talk about Plan 6 first, and that's for our foreign-born, most of them being multilingual learners who enter at the 9th or 10th grade, and then they're possibly SLIFE. The one thing that I will mention about it is this is the category that isn't included in AB 2121, which is a migrant or newcomer student that enters at the 11th or 12th grade. And then Plan 7 are just specific students with IEPs who will meet specific criteria too, and Scott will go through those. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide. I think we all know the benefits of a high school diploma. We work in a high school district. You're serving on a high school board of trustees. I think we all know that, it's one of our major goals as a district is to ensure all of our students get a diploma. However, I did want to share just some of the recent data around, the importance of getting a diploma, the difference in income and earnings. We know it has differences and impacts on students' health, outcomes, and just reminding us one of the reasons that we may do this. Scott's going to speak to this a little bit because.
Hi, everyone. So quite a few years ago now, the CDE and the Sacramento County Office of Education came together to do a work group around outcomes for students with disabilities. And they were primarily looking at those who were receiving a certificate of completion. But what they found as a whole was that students with disabilities who are educated within California are the lowest group to graduate compared to all other student groups in the state. And so what this effect has for all students with disabilities is really that diploma aspect. Many of our systems that are in place statewide really do require a diploma, whether it be for seeking a job or renting an apartment or any other type of housing. And this is really negatively affecting that group. Because they don't understand exactly what a certificate of completion is. And so what they sought out to do was create an alternate pathway for these students to receive a diploma. And so that's the part I will be updating you on later on, in addition to the Plan 7, which would be a different pathway for students with IEPs.
So now we're going to take you through the details of each one of these proposed plans. So the proposed plans, both of them, in talking with both Rochelle, Joanna, and Scott, we really talked about lining them up because a lot of the needs, even though their students are meeting the need for the different plans through different ways, really lining up the requirements made sense. So you'll see here, for the most part, all the core classes stay the same in terms of requirements and years. We decrease, and I'll actually show you the next slide that I appreciate Trustee Jacobson recommending we show a side-by-side for what is the difference between that Plan 1, which is the one that most students are on, and the Plan 6 and 7. So you'll see most of the core requirements are the same across the board. The big difference is we're not doing world language and VAPA and CTE for students on the Plan 6 and 7. So they just need to meet one of those as per the California minimum requirements. And then we're decreasing the overall elective requirements by 20. We'll continue with the PE requirements. Students that come in at a certain grade level who have not been educated or they didn't have an opportunity to take PE are sometimes exempted from that, but that's would be separate. So it still would be a requirement of having PE. And then the health class is also not required on this plan. Many of the students we anticipate may have come in after that, or in their 9th grade year, they may have a hard time fitting that into their schedule. If they're a newcomer, that's oftentimes the case, as well as some of our students on IEPs. So want to make sure we're clear about the credit. So those are the big differences. So it's a difference of 220 for Plan 1 and then 175 for the two proposed plans tonight. Just as a reminder, Brian has come through and talked about the graduation the graduation rates for our students. This is our graduation rates for our English learners. And you'll see there's quite a big difference. This is really what we're hoping to impact, to see more of our students graduate with that high school diploma. So the difference being right now, 74% of our English learners graduate. 88% of our long-term English learners graduate, which is a lot closer to all students who graduate at a rate of 92.4%. So Plan 6, this is for multilingual students who are foreign born and may be SLIFE. So these are students who might enter at the 9th or 10th grade. They identify as foreign born, and they may meet one of these SLIFE criteria. So it would be any one of the following: that they started school after age 8, they had interruptions in schooling in their home country of 2 or more years, and they had a gap between their last completed grade and in their US grade completion, or they demonstrate significant writing deficiencies in their native language, meaning that they don't have primary language proficiency to support them in working through our course requirements. The other thing is they don't meet the eligibility for AB 2121. So that includes students who are migrant, and newcomer who enter at the 11th or 12th grade level. So there is this category of students who may enter our district who they may have all these gaps. One of the, if you look at it, a student may enter at 9th grade and they may not be SLIFE, so they have some background. It is possible that they would still struggle in our system, and we do see this happen at times. So we do include that as part of the qualifications for this plan. I wonder if it's helpful if I stop here just on Plan 6 to see if there's questions here, and then I'm going to pass it over to Scott to talk about Plan 7, because they are similar in the requirements, but the qualification and criteria are different.
Does the board have any questions, comments? Trustee Land? Oh. Jacobson?
I didn't have a question.
Oh.
Oh, well, I just brought up some questions over email that I thought might be helpful for the rest of the board to hear. The first is there an opportunity for students who are fluent in another language other than English to pass that world language requirement through demonstration of proficiency in that language?
Yes, and we do have, well, in fact, we have it in language for us that a student who is a newcomer who comes in and has had their native language, so they're coming in, they have Spanish on a transcript. Up until 6th grade, we can use some of those credits for them to actually get credits on our, we can put those on our transcript. And actually the UC will allow you to put them on the transcript, and they're considered like a UC eligible course. We can also, and we have done this, I know Joanna has done it with some students that are Portuguese speaking, is something called principal certification. And that's when a student, we know that they're fluent in their home language, and we can basically test them to see if they have that fluency, and then provide them 20 credits of world language through that process. And that's actually allowable through the UC. So you can place those credits on the transcript, and they can get credit that way. And we've been working on figuring out how we can do that for the many different languages that we see coming into our district, because it's a really good question. Oftentimes students will be quite fluent, and they should have some, that should be acknowledged.
Yeah, thank you. And then the other question is, can you just help us understand sort of what's the profile of a student, or what are the circumstances where they might qualify for Plan 6, but they don't meet SLIFE criteria?
Yes, so it could be a 10th grader. That was probably easier to understand, that it's a 10th grader who comes in with no transcript. So they don't have a 9th grade year, and they're already behind in credits. And so they would have to make up an English course, their science and math, which, will put them behind. So
Yeah.
that would be the most common. There may be a student that comes in at the 9th grade, maybe they come halfway through the year, and you can imagine the huge culture shock of coming into the system. They may not do really well in that first year if they don't pass all of their classes. This just gives them more wiggle room to make up those courses. And one of the things that we would want them to be able to do is make up the courses in person rather than maybe on an online program or something like that. It also provides for more space in their schedule if they're coming in as a newcomer. And maybe they're not SLIFE, maybe they're coming in and they've had education in their home language, but to have more time to focus on language acquisition, which can count towards electives, but it still may not give them enough credit so that they can meet our Plan 1 graduation requirements. There's not as many students in that category. It's more of the students that probably meet this SLIFE criteria that we're really thinking about. But I think we know that there's always a case-by-case basis that we want to think about. So it provides that flexibility. I think the one thing I will mention about it is that each student that gets qualified for a different plan like this will be looked at individually by their counselor and administrator and make that decision, not even necessarily immediately when they walk in the door either. It would be after seeing that a student might be struggling and giving them that opportunity to reduce the credits. And it will be similar for Plan 7 that Scott will talk about a little bit more too.
I have a question on that. It kind of relates to what you comment. And first, what are the numbers across the district that will fall into this program, Plan 6, roughly?
You know, we were trying to pull them, and I'm going to have to get back to you on that, maybe provide it in an update, because we're not quite sure how many students we're going to be able to serve under this plan, but we are hoping that, you know, we'll be able to serve more, I guess. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Hopefully we'll see. Yeah, I can't say exactly. I'm sorry, but we started pulling the data, but we don't quite know which of the students necessarily qualify as of yet.
What are
You know,
what are the barriers to know that, to knowing that?
I think it's just a matter of us pulling the data and identifying whether or not there's life and the amount of transcripts they have coming in. So I think once we have the go ahead, we'll start pulling the numbers and get a really good idea of exactly how many students. But I know from what Joanna Fight, our manager of multilingual learners, has seen, she has case studies of the students that are needing to be, you know, that this plan would help them.
Trying to, oh, no, go, no. You know, like the question, it kind of goes to Trustee Jacobson's thing. It's kind of, okay, you come here and you get evaluated, you know, and it's sort of, that's a decision point that's real critical in your education. And I'm thinking, okay, if I'm a parent, do I want my child to strive for Plan 1? How are we looking at that? How are we kind of assessing it? And is there mobility? If somebody was put in 6, they have the ability?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I would say a student isn't right when they're entering our into the schools would they be put on this plan. It's more that after we see that they're struggling, because sometimes we won't know that they're necessarily SLIFE until they've been with us for a little bit, because we may never get the transcript, and when we do, we realize there's some gaps in education there. And you know, sometimes we don't have a full transcript. So it's not something that we will, as soon as we do the intake, that we would put them on this plan. It's required under some of the other plans, more that they meet the requirements if they're entering at 11th or 12th grade for or if they're a homeless or foster youth, they will meet those criteria. But the plan always is to have the students stay in a full class, class load, that we're not just placing on this and then letting them do a half day or anything like that. It will be a one, case by case basis. I don't think there's, once we pull the numbers, I don't think there would be a tremendous amount of students that are going to fall exactly in this, but we know that there is a small number that this will make a really big difference for. So that's one of the reasons that we want to see it happening. But it's something that's really important to us, is that we wouldn't immediately say you need to get on Plan 1 or on Plan 6 when you enter. It would be something that if the student is struggling, this is an option for them. And it's kind of consider it like Peninsula Continuation School. We don't immediately put a student into that plan when they enter. It's after some time with us, they might be struggling, and they really aren't getting many credits in their 9th grade year. We might just start to give them that, because there's also that need for hope for the student if they begin to see like, there's no way I can recoup this. But it's an important point. I agree that we don't want to just set the bar low and then start there.
What's missing between 1 and 6, and I don't hardly ever speak, so I mean,
You've been quiet.
I'm reading, I'm channeling his thoughts. No, the thing that's missing between 1 and 6 is the engagement of the electives and stuff. That's
Yeah.
such a big difference. But Trustee Land.
I would agree with that. That was one of the things I was going to mention.
All right.
Good. No, then I won't say it. So, but engagement key. The other thing is the support, because again, reading about the demonstrating writing deficits and having needs, I'm hoping that this includes supports into the system.
Yeah.
And this is not just credit recovery. This is not credit. How can we get the credits and then we're done? It's really the learning that's the important component here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would say this doesn't mean that a student will come in and not be enrolled in electives either. So just,
Good.
it's more like I said, after some time with us, we realized they're getting behind on the core classes. And so we want to support them in reaching those core classes. So they will still get access. We've done a lot of work to make sure that students coming in are getting access to electives. So it is an important point.
Okay, and now I'm going to say the embarrassing question. SLIFE, I need to hear. I didn't internalize it. So what is SLIFE again?
Okay, students with limited, oh no, I'm forgetting. Interrupted formal education.
Okay. I was like, it went in one ear and out the other, and I was like,
I don't know if I said it, Greg, so that's
Okay.
not your fault.
Okay, I was zoning a little bit, and I was like, okay, I missed
No, no, because I kept trying, what?
it. And it's like the education he uses, usually I'm pretty good, but.
Yeah,
I-
and
I
usually we
flunked.
try to say it all out before we put the acronym in there, so apologize for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad you asked that, Trustee Land, about the SLIFE. I have a question about if a student has a certain life situation, different than life situation, family situation where you mentioned that if they enter as a 10th grader, but enter our district as a 10th grader, but they don't have really any transcripts. So maybe they were in and out of school or there was a family situation. What if the family and the student preferred that the student started in 9th grade? I know you said this is just an option available.
Oh,
but
yeah, absolutely. That was actually an update we put to the board policy recently. It's a good
Okay.
question. So
Okay.
if there is interest that they just want to start at the 9th grade,
Yeah.
we've tried to really change so that students coming in can start there, and we are placing them there. The problem ends at the higher end where the student
Sure.
is 18, closing on 19, and they're
Sure.
around the younger kids. So that's again, maybe when you'd
Right.
say, hey, you have this option to go to Plan 6.
Okay.
This is how we can get you graduated. So it's we do try to set them up for success
Yes.
by putting them in the 9th grade classes
Yeah.
when they enter. But yeah, students, they're teenagers. So
Right.
if they're in there and they're the oldest one in their class,
Sure.
it's challenging.
Makes sense. No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Plan 7 then. I'm going to hand it over to Scott.
All right, so moving on to Plan 7, this is for students with IEPs. And when we're looking at the information on the California School Dashboard for our graduation rate for students with disabilities compared to all students within our district, we have the last 3 years available to us, with 2024 being the most recent. So for 2022, you can see a 10% differentiation there. In 2023, it went up slightly, 10.6, and last year it increased to 14.3 differential between students with disabilities graduating at 78.1% to all students being at 92.4%. So as you can see, there is an increasing gap there. With Plan 7, what we're looking at, who qualifies? I want to start by saying this is for those students who are on a traditional diploma track, because the other plan that I will update you on after this is for the alternative pathway. These are for students who would have a active current IEP. It is determined that the reduced credit option is appropriate, and this cannot be discussed before their junior year. It can be discussed later, let's say senior year, but the earliest it can be determined and discussed is their junior year. We need to make sure that they are looking at not completing 220 credits by the end of those 4 years. When they enter school as a freshman, everyone will be on a Plan 1, 220 credits. And that is the goal of the special education department, is for as many students as possible to graduate with those credits. If the student is determined to,
We're good.
oh, okay. If the student is determined not to be able to meet those 220 credits, and it is discussed in the junior or senior year, the student must be enrolled in all 4 years. Those classes continue to be taken, but we go ahead and look to see if there were significant accommodations for that student, whether it be through SAI classes, TEC. We're also looking at some other options to remain on 220. Have they been moved to pass-fail opportunities as opposed to grades? So there are other things that are being determined as well. One thing too I want to give you an example of for this is the type of student that this might apply to. of course, it's individualized, so I can't give you every single opportunity that it might come up, but 3 scenarios that have actually come up already this year with me are some students needing to participate in outpatient therapeutic programs or residential treatment centers in which they actually split time at school for half the day and then inpatient the other half of the day for some mental health therapy. Others are, we have several students on home hospital instruction because they are going through cancer treatments and they're immunocompromised and cannot be amongst the general population. And what's difficult about that is they can't accomplish as much at home. And then also we do have students who are in those SAI classes, directed studies, things like that, who have significant executive functioning delays or processing delays. And so some of them need just generally more time to get through a class. And so they might actually have to retake classes 1-2 times in order to get that. Another piece is that by starting freshman year, like I said, they would be starting with the 220 credit plan. So they are taking those electives, they're taking health, things like that. But as we move forward to junior and senior year, we're actually freeing up some space for them to retake those core classes that are required under this plan to graduate. And then that is it for Plan 7. Before I move on to Plan 5 review, I'll go ahead and open it up for any questions for this plan, Plan 7.
I have a question. I don't think it's on here, but relating to the personal finance class, it said I think it was in the memo that the state offers an exemption for if they take the personal finance class, then they can be exempt from the econ. Is that correct? And if so, I'm not sure that I want to exempt them from econ because I think it's really important.
That is still up for determination, and it would
Okay.
be a board decision when we get to that place. So
Okay.
it is allowable in the law, but we would have, that would come before you all when we get there.
Okay, so that's not being determined tonight.
No,
Okay.
because it's not a requirement yet. We'll update the board policy again when that class becomes when that goes into effect. So we do have a little time for that, but that would be something that is board approved on whether or not we can do that kind of exemption, because it's a may, not that you will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That particular graduation requirement we'll have as a separate standalone agenda item for lots of discussion. There's a lot to determine, just to discuss and determine on how we're going to approach that. And we don't have all the information from the state yet, not even close.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I will move on to Plan 5. And so this is to update you and give you more information. This was approved by the board last year with Dr. Wade. And so this actually goes into effect next year. So this again is for our alternative pathway and what we are calling our inclusive diploma. This really is focusing on our Bay Academy student population. And what that includes is students that are identified with significant cognitive disabilities and delays. And so really that the two main state factors of this is that they are taking the California Alternative Assessment, which is the CA, not the CASP, and that they are required to complete the same state standards as their non-disabled peers, but in a modified format. And so they do have to meet those state minimum requirements of 130 credits. And the AB 181 actually does not allow for any additional district-specific graduation requirements on top of that.
Can I just jump in really quickly?
Yeah.
Just to make it clear as well for trustees and community members at home. The concept of a modified curriculum versus a curriculum or a class where students have accommodations. If we modify a curriculum, then we have to indicate that on the transcript, and that course is no longer UC A through G approved or eligible. So this is why we're looking at these are students that are diagnosed with significant cognitive disabilities. So I just want to make that clear for the community that once we modify a course, they're no longer UC A through G approved. And I'll just speak personally on this. This is, what happened with my son and our family. And, we knew that eyes open going into it. That was not a mystery. I don't think that's going to be a mystery to any of these families, any of those kinds of things. So.
I'm going to add on to that. So, because one of the things I wanted to comment on was I'm glad we have the inclusive diploma. And, UC Davis and the California Center for Inclusive Colleges is really working hard to develop a transition program to get into college students with significant cognitive issues. And I would love to see us develop a partnership and work with the colleges to see as opportunities, arise for our Bay Academy students.
Absolutely.
It's a good point.
I wanted to go ahead and offer you just a insight into what a possible schedule can look like. Again, this is just one example. It is not at all, exactly what everyone's schedule would look like. The colored boxes are the ones that meet the state requirements for those 130 credits. But like I had mentioned before, the students will still be in class for the 6 periods, all year long for 4 years. And so the gray boxes just show some of those elective opportunities that can be held within their Bay Academy classroom. But I also want to let you know that that doesn't preclude them from taking any other possible electives out there, art, music, additional PE, anything like that, that they might have strength in or have a desire to be, involved in. But these were just ones that we do have set up through course codes and course titles that would be a part of the inclusive pathway here. Yep, there's that. And then this was just, as Superintendent Booker mentioned, this is going and speaking to the modified standard. So the top here is a 11th grade literature standard. So as you can, I'll let you read that on your own. But as we look at the bottom, this is where we take the state took that standard and modified it to the essential element of what the top was speaking to. And that you are just going to recount the main events of the text, which are related to the theme or central idea. And what I like to think about accommodations versus modifications, my analogy for that is thinking about a swimming pool and students swimming, right? If you're providing an accommodation, you might be giving them a pool noodle, some, a kickboard, goggles, even things like that. But if we're modifying, we're actually changing the pool. We're making it more shallow. We're shortening the length, those types of things. And so this pathway, the inclusive diploma, is modifying the curriculum. It's still going to those essential elements of it, but it is modifying the rigor. And one key component of this as well that I want to make sure is that anyone on the inclusive diploma still has access to the adult transition program. So yes, they are getting a diploma, but they are still eligible through the age of 22 to participate in our adult transition program. It does not stop them at 18 or graduating from, being a senior.
Yeah, it's different.
And then this is just, we kind of saw this earlier on as well, but just the 130 credit standard for the state minimum. So just for you to see that.
We took questions throughout it, so
Yeah, really.
So thank you.
I have a
Really?
comment.
Nice.
I just have a comment. I just wanted to make a point to acknowledge that we have a district that has the ability to do this. And we have folks like Dr. Kemke. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting your name.
Oh, no worries. Scott Reardon.
Mr. Reardon, on making innovative curricula like this and including students that weren't necessarily able to have a graduation option. Many other districts don't have this, and many other places in the country won't ever have this. And so I just want to make it a point to acknowledge how fortunate we are in this district of what we provide our students. Thank you.
Yeah, just to echo that, I'm just really so appreciative of all the options that are laid here. I mean, laid before us here, but also options for the parents and the students, right? Because every student doesn't, all students, we know all students aren't going to fit in this same box. I have 2 daughters, they're totally different, but we definitely have students that need these options that you explained tonight. So I want to thank you, Dr. Kemke and Mr. Reardon. And I also wanted to say thank you for in addition to the excellent presentation, I also wanted to say thank you for showing us the example. I know it's a sample schedule, but some of us were concerned with making sure that the students had an option for electives. And I can see all the gray boxes there that they can switch something around and inclusive basic cooking, or do I want to do the art or whatever, right? There's so many availability right there in that sample schedule. So thank you for showing that. Thanks.
So the only thing that I want to mention is that this is for your information tonight. The edits to the board policy will be on the next board agenda under consent, and unless there's, any questions or additions that we have. So
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
In terms of evaluation, what is that gonna look like, and how long do you need to have like substantial results to be able to maybe even, show other districts how to do this type of stuff?
I think we could start looking at, Scott mentioned he has students in mind that are going to be able to fit this plan. And I know that Joanna, I do want to acknowledge Dr. Hooks and Joanna Fight, who
Yes,
were also part of this. They just both happened to be at different conferences this week. So it's the way that turned out. But yeah, I would imagine we'll have students that will think about moving to one of these plans. I don't know in this class or if it would be next year's class, but I think we'd want to at least give it a full year to kind of assess, who are the students and ensure that we have some good processes around it too. To some of your points is that we don't want to move students to these plans too early.
Right.
Before we really ensure that we're holding them to high expectations at the same time.
I just wanted to say ditto to what they were saying. I really do like these options, and you guys, we are really thinking outside the box and being in the forefront of what education should be coming and evolving to. Thank you.
Great. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just,
Okay, go ahead.
you're welcome to go ahead.
No. I was gonna move it.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yes, ditto, and that we have a close family friend who they have two students in their family that fit in two of these new plans that she was very grateful and was really hopeful that this would go through tonight. So
Oh, good.
it always helps to have kind of a personal story in mind when you're looking at these, and so it's not so abstract. Yeah.
Awesome. Really glad to hear that.
Okay, I have a clarifying question. The agenda says we will recommend the board approve Plan 6 and 7, and then I think it was mentioned that we bring it back. So are we taking action on this tonight?
Yeah,
No.
I'd rather you not take action on this tonight so we can bring you the actual policy language as it's associated with BP, I forget.
6146.1.
I think it's better to have the actual language
that
and
we
the
approve on
actual
consent.
policy.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily confident. I didn't know how tonight was going to go, so I wanted to give the board some flexibility there. But if you're confident, I would take the directive to bring the updated board policy to consent at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It was
I
attached
just
to
read
the
the
second.
agenda and read it out loud. That's
Yes.
all I do. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Actually, it was a excellent
thank you.
presentation because
Yes.
it really brought clarity to the issue. So,
Thank you again to both of
Thank you.
okay, construction. Do we have anything?
Not tonight.
Division of Human Resources.
Yes,
consent
Dr.
agenda.
Dr. Black.
Yes, we have personnel, we have human resources consent agenda with the personnel actions. We have two MOUs, a correction of a typo on the manager's salary schedule, and then our athletic league representatives for each school for the 25-26 school year.
I make a motion to approve the personnel consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Are any comments?
There are none?
Either online or in person?
There are none.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to Division of Human Resources.
The personnel actions addendum, we do have a recognition as mentioned earlier by Mr. Brewer. We have Malak Hutchinina is retiring from the Aragon High School as a Technology Support Specialist 2 after 21 years in the district. Her last day will be July 2nd, 2025.
Wow.
We recommend approval.
Okay,
Make a motion to approve the personnel actions addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comment?
There are
Any
none.
comments online? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution of non-employment.
Yes, every year the district must twice notify all teachers working on a temporary contract. The notice is that their contract is for just 1 year. The second notification occurs in person. I meet with each of the teachers at their school site and review their employment status and thank them for their service to the district. And then each year, the district is also required to pass a resolution indicating the number of teachers on temporary contracts. This year, we have 33 teachers working on temporary contracts, and we recommend approval of the resolution.
I make a motion to approve the resolution 242520 regarding temporary certificated employees.
Is there a second?
Second.
Here we have a motion and a second. Or any discussion? Any online or in person?
There are none.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Item 3, the San Mateo Union High School District Successor Contract Proposal for 25-26.
Yes, so this is an informational item before the public hearing and will be for approval after that. The district's contract with the CSEA unit is open for negotiations. Both the district and the CSEA have proposals on tonight's agenda. For the district, we are proposing to open 9 articles, 5 of them with significant revisions. Those 5 in summary include job steward workload maximums. Right now, our CSEA unit has 3 very hard-working job stewards, and they are highly sought after. Their work does compete with their daily job duties. Therefore, the district proposes to safeguard their time with weekly and monthly maximum of the job steward duties. Professional development attendance. All employees have the professional responsibility of improving their skills and completing required trainings. The district puts a substantial amount of time and resources into training opportunities and professional development. Therefore, the district proposes to emphasize the importance of attendance at these trainings and put that language in the contract. The last 3, I'll just summarize very quickly. The district proposes to provide reproductive loss leave to all appropriate employees. The district proposes to clarify the process for carrying over vacation days into the next school year. And the district proposes to clarify that an injury is entitled up to 100-day extended leave per injury. So these are the major proposals outside of compensation and benefits, which will be addressed once more information is provided by the county and our insurance carriers. This was information only.
Okay, thank you. If there are no comments, we'll move on to item 4, Classified School Employees Association Successor Contract Proposal.
Are you coming up? Okay, this is the CSEA's contract proposal for information. Thanks, Joe.
Hello? Okay. Hi again. My name is Joe Brewer, President, CSEA. Earlier this month, CSEA sent our initial bargaining proposal submittal to Deputy Superintendent Black in accordance with Section 3547 of the Government Code. Our proposal is a result of a survey of our over 520 CSEA members, and as always, we look forward to working with the district starting in April. I'm assuming the board gets a copy of this. Do you want me to read through it, or can it be posted, or?
Yes, yes to both.
Okay. Yes, read it, and it will be posted. Yes
No,
to both.
Yes, they have read it, and yes, we can post it.
Okay. Would you like me to read it? Okay. To save time tonight, I will summarize it. We have several things that we would like to bring up to negotiations, and we're looking forward to negotiating. Thank you.
Thanks, Dale.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay, now we're gonna move on to item 5, public hearing regarding San Mateo Union High School District successor contract proposal and the Classified Employees Association successor contract proposal. I will now open a public hearing. Are there any comments from the public?
There are none.
Okay, I will close the public hearing. Move on to 6, approval of San Mateo Union High School District successor contract proposal with Classified School Employees Association.
Yes, the district recommends approval of the successor contract proposal.
Okay, is there a,
So moved.
we got a motion?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Are there any comments online or in person?
None.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. It passes unanimously. Division U. Anything to discuss tonight? Student services,
Not this evening.
instructional services?
Same,
division?
not this evening.
Okay, W.
No, not this evening.
Okay, board operations. Dr. Black.
Yes, there is one policy on the claims statute of limitations revision legislative update.
If there's no discussion, I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Don't we want to just put it on
Yeah,
consent for
doesn't
next
it
time?
roll?
Right.
Oh, is it going on consent?
Yeah, our general practice is to
Right.
move to consent.
Right.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Just trying to be
Yeah.
parliamentarian.
about Yep.
I'm hearing direction to move it to consent at the next meeting.
Yeah, that'd be,
That sounds
Okay.
like.
that's what
Okay.
trustee Andre Zuniga and myself met.
Yeah,
Of
that
We-
works.
Yes, that's what we met.
Okay,
Absolutely.
It's late.
okay, Division Y, future board agenda items.
Let me just remind the board, April 10th, career technical education. April 10th, multilingual learner board policy. April 17th, we have a board study session with the DLAC presentation. April 24th, math update. April 24th, AVID program highlights and senior standouts.
Awesome.
May 8th, instructional framework. And it looks like May 22nd will be
Mental health update.
mental health update. We typically have that one in June. It's too late. We can't get mental health therapists here because it's June, so we bumped that up to May 22nd. So those are the things that are on our docket at this point, amongst, I'm sure, other things.
Okay, I want to remind the board that we started the superintendent
Yes.
360 process, so everybody check your emails.
Done and done. Thank
Okay,
you.
anything else before I adjourn the meeting? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.